you want for the carriage? You accept doggy biscuits?
Trying to show background.
How much do you want for the carriage? You accept doggy biscuits?
You can count on us.
Value pack fresh Bermuda chicken leg quarters, $1.79 per pound. Only $1.99 for a large California grapefruit. For your mac and cheese dish, Tama macaroni, just $1.79 for a 500-gram package. Start your day with Kellogg's Special K fruit and yogurt cereal, $6.89 for a 12.5-ounce box. Dettol antiseptic, $2.99 for a 500-milliliter bottle. Visit our website, www.marketplace.bm, for more super specials.
You can count on us.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
You're watching Bermuda Broadcasting News. It's Tuesday, April 24th. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Health officials are urging parents to have their children vaccinated as alarming statistics show infants up to 6 months old being immunized dropped from 94% to 79% in just over a year. It's World Immunization Week, and the Department of Health is bringing awareness to the safety and effectiveness of one of the greatest public health inventions in modern history.
Next to potable drinking water, the vaccine has been described as one of the single most effective life-saving tools in the last 4 centuries. The first modern vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner, who discovered the treatment for smallpox in 1798. In that time, 722 million people have been vaccinated in the Caribbean and Americas region, including Bermuda. But in recent years, there's been backlash in the Western world by so-called anti-vaxxers, who claim the shots cause autism and other health defects in children, a claim widely dismissed in the medical world.
There is no evidence that suggests that that link occurs. And in fact, Autism Speaks website have actually indicated on there that link. There are other causes to autism, and we understand the concerns of parents, but that link actually has not been proven.
It's argued the evidence of its effectiveness is clear to see.
So how many of us have seen polio or measles and even congenital rubella syndrome? We haven't, and primarily because we've been vaccinated.
According to the department, the plummeting rate of children and teens not being vaccinated is alarming.
And we're starting to document more of those persons who have actually been refusing. So at this point, I have up to about 60 persons named that are not vaccinated, parents that are choosing not to vaccinate their children.
Would you say that's a lot?
I would say it's very concerning, yes, absolutely. Considering for many years I had about maybe 5 or 10 names that were consistent throughout the years since I've been keeping that register. And so with the last 18 months, that number has soared.
The vaccine for diseases such as smallpox and measles were developed a long time ago. However, monitoring their effectiveness is ongoing. World Cup of Football this summer is a good reason to check your immunization status.
We're encouraging people to think about that because it's in preparation for the World Cup. So we know people will be traveling to Russia, and I can tell you that when they last had a World Cup 4 years ago, places like Brazil, who didn't have any measles, actually ended up with some cases of measles from the traveling public.
You can ask your private GP to be vaccinated, or you can go to the health clinic on Victoria Street tomorrow between 2 and 4 for more information. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, a report on the state of the public school system calls for the depoliticizing of public education and more autonomy for the Ministry of Education. What's interesting is that some at the ministry tell us the contents of that report may have contributed to the removal of Dr. Freddie Evans as Education Minister. Here's Gary Moreno with more.
The report addresses the state of Bermuda Public Schools education and was prepared by Dr. Freddie Evans, whom we're told was instructed to do so by a senior civil servant. That report is dated August 6, 2017. A source at the ministry told us shortly after submitting the document, things began to go south for Dr. Evans. Its findings include that efforts by the Department of Education leadership to focus with intention on teaching has been continually undercut by budget decisions. Lack of respect for professional technical knowledge as well as clashes in philosophy, approach and opinion. Further, efforts and initiatives are not allowed to take hold and succeed and are scuttled and ended by budget decisions which are made outside of the department. The report suggests improving the public education system begins and should end with the quality of teaching and consistent and sustainable efforts to do so. It goes on, leading educational systems invest in professional development and coaching. That notwithstanding, according to the report, the department's professional development budget was cut. What's more, coaching positions in subjects of greatest academic need were eliminated. This against the recommendations of the department leadership. However, our source explained that situation has been addressed through the appointment of additional education officers. In the face of all this, departmental leadership is threatened with accountability instead of allowed the autonomy to lead. Elsewhere, the report indicates the politicization of public education, the current structure, and what is described as the unclear division of labor and the unhealthy relationship between the Ministry of Education and the department militates against success and undermines leadership. The report urges a clear division between the ministry and the department. The ministry, it states, should, through the government platform and education strategic plan, set the strategic and policy direction, while the department should be provided the tools such as budget autonomy, staffing, hiring and transfer decisions, as well as deployment of new and existing resources and use of professional knowledge and technical expertise in order to deliver the much talked about strategic plan. The document further points out that given the sensitivity of educational reform initiatives to the political climate, it is imperative that the system of leadership be reorganized. In so doing, whomever is Education Commissioner should serve in conjunction with and not under the supervision of a permanent secretary. That relationship, the report continues, should be a functioning partnership of operations and policy to ensure the operational perspective is understood and shared with the political arm of the ministry. Also, it should be the job of the Commissioner to advise and inform the Board of Education in order that they can lobby the political entities. The report warns, quote, above all else, the culture of intimidation, consistent, inquisitorial and accusing threatening behavior must end. Contacted about the report, Dr. Evans declined any personal comment, telling us only the document was not meant for public consumption and should not have been provided to us. Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And we did reach out to the Department of Education for comment, but they declined to do so. We'll have more news for you after this short break. Stay with us.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace Food Court.
You know what? That sounds good.
They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up. Avoid the good carbons.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. Well, no matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
Pumps make our world go. Cars, washing machines, oil rigs, submarines, all have pumps. The heart is a pump too. And like all pumps, it has parts that wear out and need to be replaced. But the heart isn't easy to get to. First, surgeons have to cut through a protective cage. But what if you could get to the heart the same way blood does? Through an artery. Researchers at Columbia and Weill Cornell, working with New York Presbyterian, pioneered an artificial aortic valve that folds closed, like an umbrella. Doctors guide the valve through arteries to the heart, where it unfolds and goes to work. Techniques like TAVR may soon replace open heart surgery altogether. Patients could check in the morning and leave with a rebuilt heart the very next day. That's amazing. And it's happening right here at New York Presbyterian.
Welcome back. Well, turning to weather news, showers with a chance of thunder for our Wednesday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and hopefully you've enjoyed the start of this week because we do have some big changes on the way. Not so much a deal for tonight, but as we head into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and really throughout the rest of the week, we are going to have some rain moving into the area, and it will be a warm front lifting, so you can expect temperatures to actually stay on the comfortable side over the next couple of days. But our nighttime low is actually going to be a little bit humid outside with that warmer air staying bubbled up over the island during the nighttime hours. I'll show you the extended forecast in just a bit. You can see right now over the island, not a whole lot happening here, but you can see the dry air is starting to nudge itself away. So we've had high pressure around. That's going to be moving here, and then you can see with our water vapor, this is the moisture that is going to be increasing into the area as we head into tomorrow. So looking at some of the current conditions right now, we're in the upper 60s, humidity between 55 and 60%, a little bit breezy outside, and we will have that breeze around over the next couple of days. Winds are out of the east, 18 to 22 knots. The water temperature sitting at 72 degrees, but we do have some marine alerts at least into Thursday. Right now, waves outside of the reef are running between 2 and 4 feet. So overnight tonight, temperatures are going to be staying in the mid-60s, a little bit breezy outside, partly cloudy. We could see a sprinkle move into the area, but it looks like late tomorrow, that's when the wet weather really starts to ramp up here. And I mentioned a little bit earlier on, we do have some marine alerts. A small craft warning is in place, not just throughout the day on Wednesday, but also into Thursday morning as well. So plan accordingly. If you do have any plans on heading out toward the water, here are your tidal times. High tide 1 coming in just before 5:30 Wednesday morning, and then high tide 2 coming right around dinner time on Wednesday. So here's your forecast for Hamilton tomorrow, 72 degrees, breezy with clouds and sunshine, and then as we get into the afternoon hours, we will have a shower in spots. And you might be wondering, what have we seen so far this month and so far this year? Well, temperature-wise, we're actually running above normal. So temperatures have been about 3 degrees above the departure for the month of April. So it's been so far a warm April. Not so much in the rainfall department here. Only 1.5 inches of rain. Our normal rainfall for April, right around 3 inches. And at this point in the game for this year, we are running below normal with our rainfall. So here's a look at your forecast. If you're doing any traveling, Toronto 51 with showers tomorrow, also showers in New York City and Boston. Across some of our islands, we do have showers and thunderstorms around. Keep the rain gear with you because we are staying unsettled at least through the weekend. Nighttime lows, however, staying mild in the upper 60s.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
The whole concept came from the collaboration with BF&M and the America's Cup. The Endeavour program is the legacy of the 35th America's Cup that was here in Bermuda in June. And we've continued the charity now operating in Bermuda. And going forward, we thought, what a great opportunity for children on the autism spectrum. And hence we actually developed the No Limits program. They really do benefit from this kind of outdoor experience, this environment. You know, just yesterday going off the east end of Bermuda, I mean, they wouldn't have done that. Not many children in Bermuda have done that. And just them learning to take control of a large bit of transportation that they're doing at that age, and they may never get that opportunity.
That's where you see the biggest progress is whether they were looking at their hand steering, you know, now they're looking forwards and actually looking where they're going because they've realized, oh, I know where my hand is. I can do this without looking at my hand.
We are so grateful for the Endeavour program and what it has done for the students on the autism spectrum.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Bermuda. You want it. You need it. You asked for it. Backed by popular demand. One Communications presents Razor Returns.
It was an awesome present! Oh, big fan. It was an awesome show. Amazing.
What an incredible show. I never expected it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
May 11th, 12th, and 13th. Featuring a special Mother's Day show. A special Mother's Day show that will mesmerize your mind.
It's mind-blowing. I can't figure out how any of that happened. I don't want to know. I don't know. My mind's blown.
Razor Returns, May 11th, 12th, and 13th. Tickets sold at Audiovisual Hamilton and Somerset, Fairmont Southampton, and online at ptix.bs. Sponsored in part by Exclusive Events, the Sarah's Family of Service Stations, Photogenic Photography, Fairmont Southampton Hotel, and Exclusive Flowers. Tickets are disappearing fast, so get yours today.
Welcome back to the program. Well, it's day 2 of our special on death and dying. Tonight, we take a look at Advanced Directives. It's a document expressing your wishes for end-of-life care. And as Tony Waterman discovered, there are unique ways to get the conversation started.
It's going to catch up with all of us.
It started as a book club. Then, one book about dying changed everything.
Right. So I have this card game got in the mail the other day.
What's it called?
It's called Heart to Heart, Discuss Directives.
Oh.
That would be Advanced Directives, that piece of paper outlining your wishes for what your end-of-life care would look like if you weren't able to communicate that with a doctor. This game is the ultimate icebreaker.
My card says, in what situation would I want to be kept alive on machines? In no situation would I want to be kept alive on machines. I'm not interested in living brain dead or in pain.
If I couldn't speak and were brain damaged, I would want to be allowed to die. If there's no hope of recovery from that injury, then I would want to be allowed to die with dignity.
It may seem morbid, but for those left to make medical decisions on your behalf, Advanced Directives can be invaluable. Sometimes a decision is clear. There's brain death after an accident, or a stroke leaves mom hooked up to a machine. But when the prognosis is less defined, decisions can become clouded with doubt, guilt, and uncertainty over what your loved one would want.
It matters to the family. Many families would like to know that they're carrying out the wishes of their loved ones.
Richard Smith has spent the better part of a decade working with the terminally ill. He's now a social worker at the charity PALS, where he meets with almost every patient, encouraging them to put a directive in place.
You would want your loved ones to know all of the detail about your care, or you would not want them to know anything. We shouldn't wait until we're diagnosed with a terminal illness. We all should have this conversation with our families so they would know what our wishes are when we're not able to express the wishes for ourselves.
But that's easier said than done, and very few Bermudians have made their end-of-life wishes official. It's not known how many advanced directives are logged here at the hospital, although one estimate puts it at around 400. It's also unclear how many are floating around lawyers' offices. But one thing is for sure. Numerous studies have shown that advanced planning reduces stress, anxiety, and depression in remaining relatives.
Directives also give doctors like Elaine Campbell guidance on how aggressive you want your treatment to be. Without one, doctors do everything to keep you alive.
Sometimes in medicine, it's not about what you can do, but what you should do. We really have to have some understanding of what the patient actually might want for their care, what that means to the patient themselves.
This card game could be a start to not just understanding what you want, but also sharing that with your loved ones.
When you're going through grief, you don't need to also be torn apart with guilt because you are afraid you made the wrong choice, that you didn't do things the way your mom would have wanted them to have been done, that you didn't respect that person's wishes, and why go through all that pain when it's optional?
A difficult conversation transformed into a final act of love. Tony Waterman for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
And tomorrow night, Tony will take a look at wills and what happens to property when one is not in place. And a reminder, our series Talking Death is brought to you by the following sponsors.
At Bully Graham Funeral, we pride ourselves on the service we provide. Careful and compassionate removal of mortal remains, comforting and friendly consultation, advice on media preparation and publication of necessary notices, notification of clergy and other support agencies, preparation of remains, printed service program, monuments and nameplates, transport in a stylish Mercedes hearse with 360-degree viewing. We specialise in traditional Bermuda coffins in cedar and mahogany and have many styles of urns for those opting for cremation. 32 Mount Hill, Pembroke, Bermuda, 441-292-3320, bgfunerals@logic.bm.
I got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste? Definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
A female rider is in hospital tonight with serious injuries following a road traffic smash-up in Smiths today. Police spokesperson Dwayne Keynes addressed our cameraman from the scene.
At approximately 1:57 today, Tuesday, police and other first responders, they attended a report of a collision that took place on Harrington Sound Road, just in the area of Somersault Road. It appears that a female on an auxiliary cycle was traveling west on Harrington Sound Road when she lost control of her vehicle and collided with a SAL tractor trailer traveling in the opposite direction. As a result, that young lady was taken to KEMH where she's being treated for injuries at this point, which are classified as serious. The area has been cordoned off while the area is processed by the relevant police officers. We're asking for people who live in the area to be patient as the scene is processed.
And a narrow escape for a trash truck worker earlier this afternoon. He somehow avoided tumbling over into the incinerator bay as he attempted to dump a load of trash at the Tynes Bay facility. His co-workers reacting with shock to what they had just witnessed.
How the did this happen? How the did this happen? Unbelievable. Trucks overloaded? You tell the trucks overloaded? Wow. Wow. Ripless, believe it or not.
Save half price on fresh pork shoulder roast, just $2.39 per pound. Save $1.30 on white whole mushrooms, $2.99 for a 10-ounce package. New frozen 9-ounce Taipei Asian-style entree, just $3.99 for select varieties. Frozen 12.3-ounce Eggo waffles, $4.59 for select varieties. $3.99 for a 5-ounce bag of select varieties of wholesome pantry organic popcorn. All stores open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You can count on us. This is Rick Blomquist of De Pere, Wisconsin. His life is pretty comfortable. He lives in a comfy home, wears comfortable shoes. He even has a comfortable job. Rick Blomquist thought he had comfort all figured out. But then he laid on a Certa and realized his life was only just sorta comfortable. The new Certa iComfort Hybrid Mattress. Not just sorta comfortable, Certa comfortable.
Feel the difference a good night's sleep can make. Exclusively available at Dreams, Bermuda's only mattress gallery.
Are you looking to expand your customer base, increase sales, and be a part of the Island Community Events for 2018? Bermuda Broadcasting Company can make that happen.
Be a part of World Cup 2018, Bermuda Day Half Marathon, Bermuda Heroes Weekend, Cup Match Classic, and Eastern Counties Cricket.
Inquire about our new advertising opportunities, whether big or small. We will deliver. Come and see us at Fort Hill, Devonshire, or email us at sales@bbc.bm or send us a message on Facebook at Bermuda Broadcasting.
Turning to sports now, Bermuda's national cricket team went down in Dubai to a select team. Earl Baisden has the details and more in tonight's Sports Report.
Bermuda's men's national cricket team have gone down by 8 wickets in their second warm-up match in Dubai against the UAE Blues.
For a second game in a row, Bermuda batted first, but they were bowled out for 101 after 30 overs. Gennaro Tucker was the top scorer with 30 not out, while Trey Mendes added 31. In reply, the UAE Blues reached 102 for 2 after 28.5 overs. Kawasi James bowled 1 over, he took 1 for 1, while Dion Stovall bowled 9 overs, he took 1 for 23. National coach Clay Smith summed up today's game this way.
We lost some early wickets and we just never recovered. That's one of the areas we've been strong in over the last year or two. Being able to lose wickets but still having enough batsmen in the team for guys to understand the role, and we go and actually being able to recover from that. The wicket today was a little bit different. It actually turned a lot more than yesterday's track, and I just think we had some soft outs, really. At the end of the day, we just had some soft outs. You look at guys like Trey and Gennaro, both of them still got saddled in, so it wasn't like it was a difficult track to battle on.
Bermuda's under-17 women's national team are set to arrive back in Bermuda later this evening after their CONCACAF women's under-17 World Cup qualifiers was halted due to unrest in Nicaragua. Bermuda played just one game, going down 3-0 to Canada. Bermuda are still set to face USA and Costa Rica. Meanwhile, with stopper Joe Hart unavailable to face Manchester City in the Premier League, young West Ham United goalkeeper Nathan Trott is set to be on the substitute bench for a second time this season. And the 19-year-old is now focused after an impressive performance between the sticks against Arsenal in their Premier League Division 2 match on doing enough to catch Dave Moyes' eye. Tiara de Rosa recorded 2 top 5 finishes during the Virginia State University Trojan International Track Meet representing Shaw University. Sophomore de Rosa finished 5th with a top toss of 12.32 meters in the women's shot put. She would finish 4th in the women's discus final with a top toss of 44.38 meters. Jonna James and Macau Glasgow represented Thomas College during the Tufts Track and Field Sunshine Classic. Competing in the women's 200-meter dash, James won Heat 2, clocking a time of 29.08. Her time saw her finish 4th overall. James would then win Heat 2 of the women's 400-meter dash, stopping the clock in a time of 109.70, which saw her finish 7th overall. Glasgow would finish 16th in the men's long jump with a top leap of 5.34 meters, which came on his second attempt. The cricket season got underway this past weekend, and once again we bring you the top performers. In the batting department, Tamika Wilson from the St. George's Cricket Club was the top scorer of the weekend with a knock of 133. A knock of 97 not out from Ricardo Brangman from the Southampton Rangers was the second highest score, and Stephen Utterbridge representing Bermuda was the next highest with a knock of 83. In the bowling department, Derek Brangman from Bailey's Bay had the best figures of 12.1 overs, 4 maidens, 6 for 26. Randy Bean from PHC had the second best figures of 6 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 7, and Teo Smith from Southampton Rangers had the third best figures of 12 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 43. The Bermuda Softball Association League season resumed at the Michael Priest Softball Diamond last evening with a triple header that saw 68 runs cross the plate. The Sea Venture Mini-Me's defeated the Athen Warriors 13-5. The PHC Zebras went down 8-7 to the Angels, while Hard Knocks edged the Outback Skylights 18-17. The Bermuda Open Karate Championship celebrated its 36th edition at the Fairmont Hamilton Princess with a few adults and a good number of juniors competing. The adult grand champions were Kentaro Bean for men's form and weapons, while Talia Iris was the women's form and weapons champion. Junior forms grand champions were novice boys Emil Trott, the intermediate boys was Dash Bailey, while the novice girl was Amira Turner and the intermediate girl was Milan Powell. Powell was also the grand champion for junior weapons combined. The Bermuda Under-16 men's team built up towards a tour of Washington, D.C. when they defeated visiting Trinity College out of Canada 61-5. Bermuda got 2 tries from Jake Field, George Peets, and Jakey Simons, while Miguel Posselguide, Devin Augustus, and Paulo Souza all added a try each. A triple header of Bermuda Field Hockey League action took place at the National Sports Center that produced 34 goals in total. The Budgers defeated the Ravens 7-0. The Budgers would then defeat the Sandpipers 11-2. The Canaries would then beat the Sandpipers 14-0. Meanwhile, the Winnipeg Jets were crowned the Bermuda Ball Hockey Association's 2017-18 champions after defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. James Finnegan and his Florida Tech men's tennis teammates hit the courts of the IMG Academy to do battle with #1 ranked St. Leo in the opening round of the Sunshine State Conference tennis tournament. Florida Tech would fall 5-1. Finnegan and his doubles partner Ricardo Corona picked up the only win for Florida Tech, defeating their opponents 8-6. Finnegan would fall in his #2 single spot 6-1, 6-love. Kirsten Soltis and her Ketawa women's tennis teammates wrapped up their season with a non-conference 7-2 win over Shaw University. Playing in the #6 single spot, Soltis won her match in straight sets 6-1, 6-4. Soltis teamed up with Emily Cochran in the #3 doubles position, and they won their match 8-3.
I'm Earl Basden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Thanks, Earl. That's our broadcast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. We leave you with images of the Royal Bermuda Regiment this evening carrying out a gunfire salute and rifle volley to salute the royal birth of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's third child. Very exciting news. Good night, everyone.